Welcome to the Fix Your Bench Press series, part 3. I'm here today with the world's strongest bench presser, Julius Maddox, and today we're going to talk about shoulder, prehab, and rehab.
Get up and get down, get up and get.
Hey guys, welcome back. Today what we're going to do is go over 4 specific exercises to help build the strength and rehab the strength for shoulder issues. And all of it stems from shoulder stability. Now, what we're gonna do is bring you through a couple of these different exercises from start to finish. Exercise 1, what we're gonna do is a W banded external rotation drill, and then a W raise. So here's what you're gonna do. Start down by your side, elbows at 90 degrees. You're gonna resist against the band. Now your external rotators of your rotator cuff are working hard in this position. If you're getting any anterior shoulder pain, just bring your elbows up just slightly with this. But the idea is the elbows stay pinned to the side, externally rotating, 5-second hold on this. And again, if you're doing this correctly, you're gonna start feeling your lateral shoulder. Something like this, I'll have people start off with 5 to 10 reps, and then we can bring in the external rotation and then raise it up. So step 2, now raise, try to keep those forearms parallel. Very good. Something like this, you're gonna start off with those holds. Now eventually, you can also start doing some pulses with then a hold at the end. So you can see how Julius is doing this here. He's gonna do about 5 pulses in a row and then squeeze on the last one. That hold though, guys, is key, the very last part, because the stability of the shoulder is what we're trying to prime. There's a difference between strength and stability. Strength is just your ability to produce force and create movement. Stability is your ability to limit excessive or unwanted motion, basically control the exercise. So when you do that 5-second hold, you'll really get those lateral shoulders primed so that you're ready to bench press after that. Any specific cues on this one you like, Julius?
No, just making sure that we keep our elbows basically at a 45. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay, just basically that we keep our elbows at a 45. And if the resistance is too much, drop the resistance. So you want to start out with lighter. You can get those rehab bands off Amazon or eBay, but you really want to start with the lighter band.
So right now what we're using is just a slingshot skinny band like this, but you can also just use a monster band, a really thin one, and I just have it looped 3 times, and that's going to work just as fine as well for him. So find a band that allows you to still get your hands in line with your elbows is going to be key. So that is part 1. All right.
I'm on fire.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah, buddy. It's a good one. Exercise number 2. This is a banded bench press drill. Now we have a band, a light band across the wrist. He's going to tension the band, which is going to engage those lateral shoulder muscles. He's depressing his shoulder blades, driving his shoulder blades back and down into the bench and locking his lats down. Weight in one hand, just for a little bit of emphasis into the stability aspect to squeeze against, because when you engage hard by gripping that weight, it's going to activate your rotator cuff muscles just a little bit greater than without the band alone. 10 reps on each side, then switch, or 10 reps and then you're gonna switch hands. Now, with something like this, Julius is only using 15 pounds. The man can bench press well over 700 pounds, and he's still using a very light weight. So you don't need to go very heavy with this, especially in the context of prehab and rehab or priming your body before a bench press session. So again, he's going to get set. He's tensioning against the band. He's activating and pulling his lats down to really drive his back and his shoulder blades into the bench and then go through the entire bench press. Make sure that this band is not too heavy to where your hands are still together. You really want to still be able to spread your arms out into your same bench press positioning. Any specific cues on this one that you like?
Yeah, we just want to make sure that we maintain a steady pace. Don't try to press too fast. Just go at a slower pace. So I would say about 4 seconds per descend and the eccentric and concentric.
There you go. Slow is the name of the game when it comes to this. That's how you're going to enhance your control through the shoulder. That's going to, again, help keep those shoulders nice and healthy. Excellent.
and on fire.
Exercise number 3 to enhance your shoulder stability is an upside down kettlebell press. Now you're gonna start off with this with just learning how to retract your shoulder blade. You're not actually gonna go through the full press yet. One of the key aspects to the bench press is learning how to engage your lats and tuck your shoulder blades down into the bench. So what you're gonna do is have that bell straight up and down and just retract your shoulder blade, keep your elbow straight and back. So learning how to optimally engage and move your shoulder blades is one of the key aspects to shoulder health and bench press performance. Now, the reason we have the kettlebell upside down, because the most of the weight of the kettlebell is in the actual bell area and it's offset from the hand compared to using a dumbbell, it's going to be much more unstable. So you're increasing the stability demands of the movement, meaning that if he does not have optimal stability here, that bell is going to fall over onto his hand. So he's going to squeeze it hard, and then here's another thing, take your hand, push it into your side down here, right there. He's going to use that as a cue to stiffen his core. So even though we're performing this movement with the shoulder, if he's able to engage his core and maintain that stiffness the entire time, he's going to allow himself to create that linkage all the way down from fist grabbing the weight into the shoulder, into the core, and lock all the way down into the legs. The linkage has to be complete. So even though this is a pressing movement, don't think about only the shoulder. Think about the full body control and you'll get the most out of this. Now, once you get better control of the shoulder blade and the ability to retract and protract, now we bring in the press. So he's going to retract first and then control down. Now, just like we talked about before, I don't want that elbow to flare out. I need that elbow to be directly in line, slightly tucked, and that's going to allow optimal line of drive. If he defaults and allows that shoulder to kick out into internal rotation, the elbow to flare out and chicken wing out to the side, that bell is going to be unstable and it's going to drop to the ground. So upside down kettlebell press not only is going to improve stability, but also teach you that proper line of drive for your bench press. Start light on this. Right now we're only using an 8-kilogram kettlebell. You do not need to go very heavy on this. And also you can tell with this left side, if his wrist starts to overextend, the bell is gonna have a difficult time sitting straight up and down and it's gonna wanna fall to the side. So just like you would with your bench press, we wanna see that stacked wrist and joint alignment.
So this is the side that I've been having issues out of, and you can see the imbalances in that I'm not as stable as I am on my right side.
And that's one of the reasons why I love single arm kettlebell and upside down kettlebell presses, is because it can illuminate some of these issues. That if you're only ever grabbing the barbell with 2 hands, sometimes you can't necessarily see to what extent that imbalance is. You do an upside down kettlebell press, 8 kilos, all of a sudden you can see a big difference.
I'm smoked.
That's how you know where to focus with your prehab and rehab so that you can stay nice and strong with your bench press.
I got to work out today.
All right, I'll take that. All right, that was 3, and then band bell.
Okay. My lats
Yeah.
are on fire.
Yeah, man.
I don't think I've ever had this much engagement. I mean, because like we're basically this whole session we're using lats, shoulders, and but I think that's the reason why people skip over this stuff, is because it's tedious and it's uncomfortable.
It's uncomfortable, and they don't want to get into the uncomfortable positions. Tip number 4, our last tip for the day for improving shoulder health, prehab and rehab, is using the band bell earthquake bar. Now, Julius, I know you've used this bar a lot in the past. Tell me about your experience with it.
Yeah, so mainly I've used it for recovering from injuries because it forces you to activate your stabilizer muscles. And I felt like I got a greater response by utilizing this than any other piece of equipment that I've ever used, simply because of the kinetic training.
There you go. So let me tell you about this bar. It only weighs 6 pounds, and we have only 50 pounds hanging on the offset sides. And what it's going to do is create an extremely unstable environment. It's going to shake around like crazy. So even though for someone of Julius's strength, the load itself is not very high, but the difficulty rises because he has to use every muscle within his body to increase the demands to meet that stability so that he can maintain that perfect bar path. So I'm gonna let Julius get under and show a couple reps with this bar. As you can see, the hanging weights bouncing around make this bar crazy to stabilize, but that's the point. When you're especially dealing with any type of shoulder injury, it's difficult a lot of times to handle a lot of load. But this allows you many times to perform that bench press completely pain-free because it's going to increase your shoulder muscle activation when it comes to stability and the role of all the muscles to control together to make sure that the shoulder's in the best place. So this is an excellent training drill for enhancing stability and working on one of the many causes of shoulder aches and pains or elbow issues as well, especially when it comes to the bench press.
So you don't want to go slow on these because you want to create that kinetic recoil, or however you want to pronounce it. So it's, man, I'm telling you, when you load that thing up, I've had a dude, he clowned me. Like, he made fun of me for using this bar. Yeah. And I'm like, all right, let's load the weight up. You get on the bar. And it was probably, I'd say about 70 pounds on each side. And he literally dropped the bar in his lap. Like, we're on incline. So by the kinetic energy, it's forcing you to stabilize. If you don't have, if you're not stable enough, the bar is either gonna gravitate towards your face or it's gonna gravitate towards your hips or feet, however you want to put it, whichever you're in position. So we was doing incline, and immediately out the rack, wobbling, dropped it on his belly. So it's just like, you know, it's one of them things that it looks funny, it looks weird, but we're not in this to care about how we look. We want to perform. We're in the performance.
And if you want to perform well, this bar, what it does also, it exposes weak links. If you're not set well, if you're not stabilizing well, if you're not in a good position with your 4 points of contact before you even get the bar off the rack, it's going to show it real quickly. So again, it's a great drill. Again, that by itself isn't necessarily going to be the determining factor of making your bench press go up like crazy, because you have to, as a power lifter, lift heavy loads if you want to get bigger in competition. But what this is going to do is enhance your stability, show you where your weak links are, improve your foundation of your performance pyramid, because the wider your pyramid, the taller it can be.
And I think also, like, this has helped me get stronger overall.
Yeah.
So one thing to keep in mind, guys, we're not focusing on how heavy we go. We want to focus on rep and set scheme. High reps, higher sets. So we're talking 4 to 5. This is specific, generally speaking for me, 4 to 5 sets, anywhere from 20 to 25 reps per set. So. Ready, 1, 2, oh. Ooh, I got it. That was rough. It's like your mind is saying, why can't we stabilize? Like, why can't I stop it? Yeah. And it just doesn't stop, no matter how much you try to force and fight to stop it, it just won't. Yeah.
All right, guys, so that is it for the Fix Your Bench series. Come on back next week for another one, and until then, go head on over to Julius's YouTube channel, give him a subscribe, because we've got a lot of good content coming for you guys. Till next time, guys, happy bench pressing.
Peace.
They say that energy flows where attention goes, so I pay no mind. Why waste my time with all these negative cats scratching? So caught up in their egos, these people have lost.